What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in today. My call sign is Blitz, and it is an absolutely beautiful morning out here on the river. It is dead quiet aside from a few boats that slide by time to time. The weather's absolutely amazing, and as you can see, I'm not dressed in all camo. I don't know. I'm trying to switch it up a little bit. I love the camo, don't get me wrong. It fits great in this environment. It's rough and durable and rugged, and that's what I need when I'm out here in the woods. But I'm trying out a new look, trying to tone it down a little bit, but still get the same functionality that I get out of my military combat shirts. So, all that being said, today's video is all about my new tactical shovel. Now, I didn't know such a thing existed until I got this in for review. I'm just old school guy with my e-tool that I can use for digging, chopping, and smashing people in the head. But I soon discovered that this does a lot more than that. So, let's go ahead and jump in the video. So first, we got to get to know the shovel, and then we'll get into some action. So, introducing the Annihilate Assassin Fanatic F-A3, which is kind of a mouthful, but I guess that's just how the name translated into English, which always cracks me up. But anyways, this shovel is produced by a company named Zune Lotoo Intelligent Technology, which is located in Chengdu, China, a city of 14 million people and also the capital of Sichuan province. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but Sichuan? I don't know, it kind of makes me hungry. Anyways, the Assassin tips the scale at 1,360 grams with an overall length of 615 millimeters as configured here. The shovel head is produced through a casting and molding process. So basically, there is a mold, and they pour stuff into the mold, and out comes the thing. You see, I'm definitely not into knowing much about foundries and casting and molding, but anyways, it is produced from 100% stainless steel, which means no rust. I've had e-tools in the past that have rusted, and that was not cool. And honestly, any tool that rusts, not cool in my book. Now the features. This is why it's a tactical shovel, which basically means multi-purpose, which in turns mean it can be quite useful in a survival situation. Now, one thing I want to mention, and this is important, if you intend to use this shovel for any type of chopping, which obviously you probably will, before you do that, just put a little bit of oil on the threads, and here's why. You get to chopping and you do this all day and you have a lot of fun and you come back home and you want to disassemble the shovel, good luck with that. At least for me, because during that high impact chopping, the threads had tightened up and my girly man hand strength was just not enough to loosen up the handle, so I had to put it in a vise to get it disassembled. But that being said, after I added oil, it was all good. No problems at all. And I just use a toothbrush, use a little bit of oil, keep it clean, and I'm good to go because the actual threads themselves are cut nice and deep, and I really don't have any concern about stripping them out. The first feature on this to point out is the rotating head, which saves time and effort in different situations, as you can see here, because I can get a different angle on this for a different activity. Maybe I can get some high quality digging done when I move it into like the 90-degree position to work this as a hoe. Maybe if I go ahead and put the rest of the extensions on there and just keep this completely flat out, it makes for an excellent shovel. So lots more flexibility with a lot less effort. And the rotations are 30, 45, 60, 115, 135, and 180 degrees. Now inside of these tubes, there's actually tools. First is this integrated knife. And with this, you can unscrew it and just use it standalone as is, or you can use that in conjunction with the rest of the tubes to make yourself a spear. Then there's an emergency whistle, and that use is pretty much self-explanatory. And thanks to the configuration of the tactical shovel, you can leave these tools out as you prefer necessary. And then if you combine all of the tubes together, you get a legit shovel that you can do some serious shoveling with. And that's always probably been one of my complaints with e-tools, is the handles are too short. Well, that's not a problem here. Now let's get up close at the shovel head, and you see there's a chopping edge on this side, which in action, very effective. The battle axe here, which was highly effective on this melon, which Austin completely destroyed, and then I had for a snack. So there was that. There's also an option on here for a way to cut wire, but I didn't quite see it. And then the chiseling point on the end. So with that, maybe, I don't know, maybe you could take this and chisel some chunks of concrete off a block. Maybe you could use that to chisel out and mold some wood in a certain pattern or design. I have no idea. I didn't try that at all. But then, of course, on the top of the head right here, two nice, big, thick footrests for getting some good action and some good pressure for some serious digging. Also included with the tactical shovel is a bit of cordage and the good old classic SAS survival wire saw, which actually here performed without fail. And usually what I'm used to is every time I get one in the mail that's provided with some survival kit, I always test it out, and usually what happens is the rings snap off at the end. But I think I finally haven't figured out a good way to use the saw. It's nice to have for a last resort. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Step 1 is complete. I've tested the living crap out of the Tactical Assassin Fanatic Annihilate F-A3, something like that. I've tested the living crap out of the shovel, okay? That's the point. Tested it under different circumstances, different conditions, different environments, and it's performed flawlessly. So the only thing to do now is obviously to show you the tactical shovel in all of its glory, using it to cook breakfast. And as we watch the video, I'm going to be providing a live commentary. So basically, it's going to be a live after action report. Never done it before, but should be fun. Let's see how it turns out. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the demo. What you're seeing right here is the river, right by my perfect hiding spot. Love this area. Just quiet, chill, and I never have anybody bother me. Now there is the tactical shovel and all of its tactical awesomeness, and I decided to use this for the first task, which was clearing out an area for the fire pit. Now granted, I could do what I usually do, which is use my hands to clear out that spot, or my feet, but I've been seeing poisonous snakes in the general area, and I really don't want to get bit. So using this gives me a little bit of space between me and any potential snakes, and also gives me a good tool for chopping heads. Now, that being said, by this point in time, I've made so much noise that there's no animals in like a 5-mile radius of where I'm at. But anyways, cleared out that space real quick. And now the next move is just to go ahead and dig the actual fire pit. Now, this is obviously a task that is well suited for a tool like this. And I mean, as compared to a typical e-tool, there's really no comparison. This thing slices through roots, big and small, like really nobody's business. Once you start using that cutting edge the right way and you get the right angle on the root that you're trying to hit, there's just no comparison to your standard e-tool. Sorry, there just isn't. I mean, look at that root. That wasn't super big, but this one right here, big, gnarly, curled up in there, was a little difficult to get to, but once I got an angle on it, look at that sucker. I mean, I would not have dug that hole without that shovel. I probably would have dug somewhere else or actually dug around some of those bigger roots. But either way, you know, I dig down maybe about 8 to 12 inches, enough to give me a proper windbreak and also contain the fire. Now, I start chopping on that wood, and let me just pause this for a minute to point out a fact, something you guys probably do already. When you're out in the forest and you're looking for wood, don't cut down live trees. Like, that's my motto. In the beginning, I used to see a tree and just want to chop it down. Now, you know, I conserve a little bit more, and I don't leave a trace, and I don't waste a ton of energy by cutting down live trees. There's just absolutely no need for it unless there is no dry deadwood in the area. So, you know, I look around, I collect all the dry deadwood I can, and I save energy and time through that process, and I don't leave any trace, and it's just easier that way, and it makes sense. So anyways, back to the video. I'm really flexing this thing, having fun with it, chopping up the wood, and I proceed to run into an issue. Look at that. Look at that. It starts to turn. The shovel head starts to turn. Now, why is that? What's the problem here? The problem is me, okay? Because I did not tighten up the shovel head to the extension tube that it is attached to. Now, I've heard other people complain on YouTube about these tactical tools and say, well, they always come unscrewed and stuff like that. In my experience, once I tightened this thing down, it actually got so tight that I had to put it in a vise to get it out. Now, putting oil on those threads alleviates that problem completely, and as long as you tighten this down with a decent amount of hand strength, like more than a 7-year-old girl, you're not going to have any problems with it. So back to the show. I'm starting to get the hang of this thing. I get it tightened up, and I just start going to town on the wood. And to be honest with you, it was nice not to have to use a folding saw to get the job done. It's much quicker. It's much more effective. The only advantage maybe to a folding saw is that it's a bit quieter. But I really wasn't too concerned about that. I was just more concerned in getting this stuff chopped up and getting it chopped up quick. And you're going to process wood really quick with this tool, and you're going to do it effectively. Just make sure to keep that left hand away from the cutting edge, because you don't want to lose a finger, or right hand if you're left-handed or whatever. Anyways, so there's the wood, a small pile of it, and basically what I do at this point in time is, now that I have that fire pit dug, I need to put some wood at the bottom of it to serve as a foundation for the actual fire, because obviously I'm not going to start a fire on bare ground. So I get that all nicely set up there. I got a good foundation of wood. Now the next move is to go collect some tinder. And that's my go-to right there, guys. I mean, look at that tinder. It is beautiful. I would use this over commercial tinder. I mean, put a spark to that and it's going to go up in about 2 seconds flat. I mean, that's just great stuff. And the red cedar is perfect for that. So take my tinder bundle, put it on the wood that I just put in the fire pit. And here, I really wanted to use the shovel head to get that spark going. So that's exactly what I did. Now, granted, it took a little bit longer than what I expected, playing around with different angles, trying to find a good edge on the shovel head, and I finally ended up settling on using the cutting surface to make it happen. And then I just go at it. And more, and maybe a few doubts were in my head at this point in time, like, will this work? Can this work? Damn it, it better work. And it's going and going and going and going. And I felt like if I kept going, at some point in time, I'd hit it with enough spark to get it going. And sure enough, nailed it, got it going. And now, you know, kind of the hard part's done. The fire's going. I always like to put some dead palm fronds on top of that, because those go up real quick. And it really just gets the fire cranking. And then what I do is I put, you know, maybe I put some twigs on there, maybe I put some smaller limbs, a little bit of kindling on there, and then I just kind of pile on from that point, obviously being cognizant of the fact that I don't want to put the fire out by smothering and putting too much stuff on it. And, you know, just take care of the fire. Maybe throw a little more cedar bark on there, and the smell right now at this point in time is absolutely incredible. So, you know, I take care of the fire, make sure it's up and running real good. And then once I know that it's not going to go out, if I look in the other direction, it's time to go ahead and start cooking. So with this, I did this way back in the day, and I completely forgotten about it. I don't know if anybody else has done this on YouTube, but you saw those sausage patties right there, and it's going to go down like this. I'm going to put a little cooking oil on the shovel head so my sausage patties don't stick. And put them on there. I kind of thought at the time, where should I put them? And I just threw them on there. It just seemed to make sense to put them in the middle. Maybe I was thinking there would be more heat there. But yeah, just put that over top of the fire. And I was kind of playing around with it. It did feel a little bit unstable. And I definitely didn't want to lose any of my food in the fire. And you guys who've cooked outside, you know what I'm talking about. You probably lost food before in a fire. So what I ended up doing here was I took one of the, a bit of the dead wood that I had chopped up. And all I did, you see there, is I just put it underneath the shovel head, which was kind of nice. It actually stabilized it more, and it brought it up off of the fire a bit more, and then allowed me to flip them without being worried about, you know, the shovel head just kind of tilting and my food falling in the fire, which really doesn't make for a good video. And yeah, then it's just a matter of, I think it's maybe about 10-15 minutes, stoking the fire, add a little bit of wood here and there to get it going. And, you know, all this time, this thing is under a massive amount of heat. I mean, you know, if anything was going to go wrong at this point in time, like the finish coming off or something, or the joints freezing up or whatever, it would have happened here, but it didn't. And those bad boys just sizzled up real nice. I grabbed my shemagh, as you see right there, because that aluminum handle is obviously hot. Took them off, and there they are. Check them out. Looking good. And now watch. Real quick what I'm about to do. You see the fire? Fire is gone. And I love that little trick. I'm sure other people do it. I just thought of it one day. I'm like, hey, I need to put out my fire. Why waste water? I'll just dump all the dirt back on it, call it a day. So now I got food to eat. The only problem at this point in time was that I forgot the Tabasco sauce. Next time, I'll have to remember that. I never forget it. But anyways, I mean, still, sausage patties cooked over an open fire of red cedar, absolutely delicious. So I would say overall, testing this thing out, abusing it, and putting it in the fire and everything else I've done with it, it performed flawlessly, and I'm really happy with the results. And that's it. Demo over. Okay guys, so that is it for the tactical shovel review. If you may have noticed through all that B-roll footage that you have seen me using this, I've had this out on numerous occasions. So it's not like I just looked at it, played around with it for an hour, and then said it was good to go. I put this through extensive use, and it has held up quite amazingly. So all that being said, is this for you? Is this a good choice for your survival kit? I think it is a good choice for your survival kit. Now, where you place this is purely up to you and your needs. Maybe this fits good in a 72-hour bag. Maybe it's better in an inch bag. Maybe it's better in your vehicle survival kit or whatever. But overall, I came into this video with this tool that I got in for review, and I'm like, you know, I'll review this, but I'm a little suspicious of tactical anything. And when they just put the word tactical shovel, tactical underwear, tactical something, I mean, come on, it's just retarded. But I was proven wrong. This thing's solid. It actually does everything that it does, that it claims to do, from the fire starting to using the knife, to using the shovel, to even cooking. That was pretty cool. So overall, I'm pretty impressed. So if you guys like the shovel, hit me up down there in the comments. There's also a link down there in the pinned post. Let me know what you think of the world's most tactical shovel, only for tactical zealots. I love that translation over to English. Crack me up. But anyways, guys, hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Your support for the channel by checking out the wide range of survival gear available at thesurvivaloutpost.com. We stock only top quality, rugged, tactical equipment and apparel designed to support any mission or situation life may throw your way. Any gear you've seen in this video is linked up down there in the pinned post, and be sure to check out the suggested videos for more real-world survival content and training.